hit it yet. Isn't that weird?
Dang it. Turn my seat on.
Yeah, you do. And not cuss so loud. Like, I don't appreciate you using such profanity in my presence, sir.
There's a problem with that, 'cause you're like in my garage. At this undisclosed location.
Oh, you're in your garage at this undisclosed location as if you own multiple garages across multiple locations, across multiple places.
Sure do.
What else do you own? Private land by any chance? Ask me for a friend.
Not flat enough.
Not flat enough?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I will, if you have a newsletter, let me know and I'll subscribe to it if we can. Oh, well, we'll figure it all out. It'll all turn around. I'll tell you, Ross. What a year 2021 really was for flag football. Isn't it crazy to think where we are now when you take a look at it all and compare to where it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I think everybody at this point need to start asking themselves, are you better off now than what you were a year ago? Are you better off now than what you were 5 years ago? Where is everything going? How is everybody feeling?
Getting all deep.
What do we got to do? What do we got to do to make this game not just great, but greater than great? What do you suggest, Ross Collins? No answer? Okay. Par for the course. Just
I got distracted.
you got distracted?
You answer your own question.
Jesus, dude. People think I'm crazy if I answer my question.
Your show. No, mine. I'm the guy in the background.
So, you know, this was originally pitched as Blunt Talk with Ross Collins back in the day. We were going to have, I was going to have you on camera and you do all the talking.
I was on camera.
And you were. Hard to believe how long ago that was now. We'll talk about it some other time. We're not here to talk about the past.
Answer your own question.
We're here to talk about nationals. You know, nationals, that tournament that you went to and I went to, and yeah, last year, right? Oh, yeah, that was, yeah, we screwed. Yeah, we dropped the ball, did we? Well, I know you. I know you dropped. I know you dropped the ball.
Yeah, I know.
You definitely dropped the ball. You definitely did.
Shout out to my daughter. She's 2 weeks old tomorrow.
2 weeks old. Hey, congratulations. 2 weeks, 2 years, I say already. Jeez, I'm already messing up my lines. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Hey, that's great, man. Congratulations. Hard to believe 2 weeks ago was when Nationals was all going down. Let's give a big shout out. You know, I want to give a shout out to everybody real quick. Gotta go full disclosure. Let's talk a little here about everything that went down at Nationals off the field wise. I know some guys were like, why is Jerry Blaze not there? Look, it's nothing anybody did but me. Like poor planning and just not having things work out in my way over the course of the last couple weeks, bunched with just having issues leading up to it, with the vehicle I have being a little faulty and having to make rearrangements, especially once the guy realized it was going all the way to Florida and back, which I left in the notes, but apparently it just kind of Yeah, communication's key, and it's on me for just not planning right. I didn't know what was going to be because there was so much going down. Work wise, I was actually isolated for over a week due to COVID. I had an exposure like twice over on Christmas Day, and so I had to isolate for that entire week. Ended up missing out on a lot. Just didn't really have much to get myself in a position to get down there on my end. Just too much going on.
Should have.
Yeah, I'm just it's on me. Like,
No.
I know. I know some guys were upset at 9-man for it, but it's like it's on nobody but me at this point. Like I gotta plan better. I gotta work to make it get better. I gotta get down there myself. I'm a grown man at the end of the day. Yeah, you have no excuse.
I do.
I'm gonna stop taking you to Ocean City.
Right back at
You're 2 for 2 already over there.
you.
And they all seem to fall around nationals.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way, on the birthday of the other one who's 2 years old now.
Yeah.
That's the 2 years old I was trying to get right.
Right.
We're on our preseason mode, as you could tell.
Flintstone kid.
We're really out of sync, aren't we? It's been a while. We haven't done this shit in a while. Yeah, we are. Damn, where is? I didn't grab a beer dinner. I dropped the ball on that too. Who's this? Who's that? Oh, that's Q. All right. Q responded to my thing. Cool. We might have him on. Let's talk about nationals. We're gonna have Q perhaps hop on for PME. We're going to talk about their B national championship. But first, I want to give a shout out to the A national champion, D1 main event back to back. The dynasty is this. Can we talk about this dynasty right now, dog? Can we talk about this dynasty? Didn't we talk about it about a year ago, that flag football franchise? You know, earlier before the show, I was listening to a clip. I was going to play it, but it's kind of a little long-winded in the format. Mike D talking about how main event was going to go on a run. This was at East Coast Nationals, the first official tournament when reopening happened. That's after they beat Showtime on their way home, actually, recording that interview on Facebook Live. He guaranteed a run was going to begin. They were going to go out. They were going to win Nationals. They were going to start a run, and that run has continued. And we talked about it, not just in 9-man. They win 5-man championships. They went 8-man, 7-man. May not be as much as it was in recent years. You know, last year, main event was not playing as much ball as usual. They were in a variety of tournaments, but not really every single thing as main event per se. But, you know, their players ball out everywhere they go. And then 9-man this year, they honestly were the best team, in my opinion, in the A division that did not win a single tournament in 2021 during the circuit year. Remember, they got to the championship at both times they were in it, losing to the Strong Island Bulldogs in Atlantic City. They got that revenge, however, in the semifinals of that tournament at Nationals, defeating them in that game. Hey, big shout out, by the way, to the media at Nationals. Jamie Wolf stepping up, getting the footage for everybody out there. He was the real GOAT, the real MVP out there working his ass off and getting the footage for everybody. Like, that's a tough thing to go out there and do. You got to run a whole tournament. Filming games is great. It's a good way to get exposure and help out, but at the same time, a lot of things happening. Give a big shout out to Wolf taking up the role and helping out. Hey, big shout out to Tyler as well. He made his way down there. He worked really hard. He played a lot. Remember, he played too. He was playing 9-man for Misfits when they were playing against Punishers, Rollers, and Main Event. He also played 5-man non-contact as well for the Misfits, I do believe. So Tyler went out there. He filmed. He played. He balled out like he always does. Hey, Preston and Skinny as well. They went out there. They got in a lot of work, playing, coaching, filming. They put in the effort. They put in the grind. I give a lot of respect to those guys out there. They did a lot of great work out there at Nationals. The 9-man media game out there. Hey, the Powell brothers as well. They were out there filming. They went live. They got some film out there. And Maffle Elite, if you want to check out stuff. I'm going to try to get all that stuff out there as quick as I can. Yeah. I want to get that stuff out there for everybody. It's at Maffle Elite, 9-man flag football, Team Blunt Talk. Real Deal Sports, Preston Shivers, all kinds of pages have it. I'm gonna try to get it out there later on. It's been tough lately. Like I've been in kind of a weird place for a while now. It's been kind of weirder in recent months, between work and personal life going on. I know, man. I know, but I'm just saying, like, we're gonna get it. Okay, we good. We good. Fine. Let's talk about the good times. Let's talk about the now. Let's talk about how everything ended in 2000. And yeah, I know, and I know. I'm in preseason mode right now. I haven't really done many live stuff in a while. I gotta get ready for the regular season coming up in 2 months, right? That's gonna be for league ball starting somewhere, right? Someone's starting somewhere. Hey, YAFFL, they're right now doing the thing. They're doing their indoor league. Big shout out to them, man. I give them a lot of props. They're live over at their page talking about their indoor stuff. Kind of want to go under a Zoom call and see what happens. We should try to do the. You got Zoom, Ross. You should try to find a way to get me on there, and we'll join our call. But for now, let's talk about it. 9-man flag football PowerPoint with Professor Blaze and Dr. Collins. Dr. Collins, what do you mean? What do you mean? Dr. Collins. Doc Collins. There you go. You're gonna call you Doc Collins. Or be the third Doc, Doc from Baltimore, and then Doc from TBT, and then you as Doc Collins. Take a look at the results. Saturday, is everything backwards? Oh, I got it backwards a little bit.
Nobody can read it.
Hold on. Well, worse yet, it's still hiding a slide that I thought I fixed. Yeah, it's like PowerPoint's being a pain for some reason on that. It's preseason. This is the preseason episode. It's garbage because we haven't really done actual episodes like since summer at this stage. The rest of the things we were doing in the fall were just kind of in some dissociative void somewhere. That's the best way to describe our concept last fall.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. Sorry, I'm very philosophical this evening. It's been a lot of good times here at the undisclosed location. 4 years now in April, we've been running here. After you all won the Bassford Heritage Bowl, remember that?
Yeah.
Been a long time.
Undefeated.
You were 4-0 in that game.
Undefeated in the Bassford Heritage Bowl.
Look at having that Bassford guy.
Somewhere, I think.
Never heard of them. Couple of them. Never heard of them. Yeah. But talk about nationals. I'm gonna have the graphic up in front of me, but right now I got I got it on me right now. Talk about 8 a.m. games. First game out, Spartans 32, Dirty Birds nothing. Yeah. Dirty Birds traveling the Nationals. Not a good performance. I'll have more on that later. We'll go through highlights of these. Notables. St. Louis Pack and Empire. What do we talk about when a new team to the 9-man Nationals comes to a tournament against an experienced team? These kind of games can happen easily. St. Louis Pack surprised Empire. 18-0. Final here. Right out the gate, Empire upset by a St. Louis Pack team that had a lot of experience. Remember, these were the 2018 runner-ups in the B division at the USFTL B 9-man National Championship.
Right.
Got to give a lot of credit and props where credit is due for the Pack coming out here strong out the gate, despite not playing 9-man for a bit against an Empire team that has played a lot of 9-man this year between playing in XFFL and GCFFA, as well as traveling across the B circuit. Remember, they were a B champion, B runner-up. They run into a team in the Pack who scores an upset early on. Next game I thought was going to be interesting was Rampage Brick Squad. Rampage got the win there 20-7. This is all based on, by the way, everything I got from the notes that were posted inside of the 9-man flag football page. When I have it up on there, we'll see in a minute. But Rampage, 2-score win right out the gate against Brick Squad. We talked about it. Brick Squad was one of those teams that this year were able to compete with some of the top teams in B, but fall short of Rampage early on. Rampage had a hot start in this tournament, but we'll see where it goes. Continuing on some of the games, Bad Boy Savages 13-13 tie. This was a really good game. Tyler was on Team Blunt Talks page filming this one. Really good tie game between Bad Boys and the Wild Savages. I recommend it for anybody trying to watch it. Maryland Titans and Empire rematch from AC. Empire got the better of them 12-6. Got to give credit where credit is due there for Empire and what they did in that game, coming out there and beating a Titans team that they even admitted, like, showed them a different side of this game that they were not quite ready for when they had gotten to AC. Remember that interview back a couple months ago with Ryan Tapia. And then this time around, they are able to get their revenge on the Maryland Titans in the form of the Atlantic Nationals. Continuing on from there, Bad Boys and the Long Island Demons, 14-12 final there. Competitive matchup between those two. Remember, the Demons were very underrated all year. Bad Boys got better down the stretch. These were two very good teams meeting at the right time, and it definitely lived up to the hype. Excellent game between those two, and we'll see where it goes if we'll see them down the road facing off against one another. Hard to talk about it, but I'll go over what I'm noting right now. Rampage 717 Elite 14-13. I did catch some of this. 717 actually played Rampage tough. Yeah, 717 had a shot at the end there. You know, you got to give these guys from York a lot of credit. They're trying to build something big. They're trying to build a franchise. D. Will and company, they're putting to work right now in the YAFFL Indoor League. In fact, they're talking about that right now. They got a big game coming with Wolverines very soon. I think it's this week. Our guy Tyler Spencer out there putting in work in the YAFFL Indoor League. 3 interceptions over there for Wolverines. But 717 Elite, I believe it was Tyler on this game. I can't quite recall who had it offhand. They came very close to scoring the upset here. This was a very good football game. 717 had a shot. Rampage, however, defense held in the end. This survival mode kicked in, and champion spirit of Rampage giving them the dub. Blackhawks 37, Dirty Birds nothing. Savages Wildcats. This was a competitive game, 7-6. Very competitive matchup. Nothing there on that otherwise. But hey, can we give credit to No Excuses? Right out the gate, beats Brick Squad 12-6. We talk about it. What do you learn from the first year at Nationals to the next year? No Excuses learned. They could play 9-man. Yep. And then they came out there. They beat the second best team in Rhode Island this year in the form of Brick Squad. Right out the gate to start Nationals. And that's what this No Excuses team needed to propel what was a weekend to remember for this squad. Big credit to No Excuses.
Yeah.
Other notable games, Steel Titans came onto the 9-man circuit scene. They with a nice matchup of 20-6 win over St. Louis Pack. I got to give it to the Steel Titans. They did a really excellent job out there, coming out and performing, because, you know, Steel had their issues all year. We talked about AC. I was there when they didn't have anybody against Dirty Birds, only 8 guys. Glad to see them come together with some league teams. You know, sometimes like there might be surprise there, but you got to just work together if you really want to get the most out of this game when you're going out there and playing on the circuit. You know, it don't hurt. Make friends. An old friend of mine used to say that all the time. It don't hurt to make friends. Riot Squad and the St. Louis Pack, 7-7 tie. Competitive game. You know, this is one to be expected between these two, honestly. Very similar teams, and no surprise it was a 7-7 tie. This was an upset for me. Birmingham Heat beat the Long Island Ducks 19-14. Big win for them right out the gate, going against the Ducks team who's very seasoned. Yeah. And Birmingham, we talk about it. There ain't many 9-man in Alabama. They came out there and just played football against the Ducks and got the dub. Big props to them. Baez Auto 23 showed me nothing. Baez was pretty loaded for this tournament. I ain't gonna lie. Like, they definitely had a very well-rounded team. I'm very surprised they did not finish where they did, but show me football. You know, we give props to Gideon Preston. Tough draw out the gate with Baez Auto, especially with how Baez is loaded up in the trenches in a big way. Big props to our guys for going out there and putting the team together.
Right,
It's tough to travel that 9-man circuit, but Baez, hot start, 23-0. Nomads right after that. They got to a hot start, 26-0 over the Bahama Lions. The national team for Bahamas, tough matchup there. Nomads, the Kings of Jersey, they went out there. They beat Bahamas off the breaks. And we're going to see what happens next game as we read down the list. PME, Baez Auto, 27-6, PME with the dub there. This was a game I looked forward to because, we talked about it. But we're not getting Capital Classic PME versus Charm City Baez. And don't get me wrong, I have no quarrel with what current Baez is, but it's not to me on that same offensive firepower level to go against an A-level team defensively like PME that was so well rounded by this stage, which you got to give it up for PME, man. This is the team that if there was such a thing as a comeback team of the year, they are the winner of that category. Because this is a team that did not play anything in 2020 outside of Worlds and maybe a game in Maffle before the league had to shut down. They got in. There we go. We got it up now. Just wanted to make sure that slide actually worked because it wasn't perfect. So it'd be hard to read. I know. I'm putting it at full screen. That's the best way to look at it. I'm just going to go over it. But PME just pounded it on, put it on Baez in a big way, man. You got to give credit to Playmakers Elite. They came to play that Nationals a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Nomads.
That's an understatement.
Oh yeah, Nomads came to play too. Out the gate here against the Dragons, 20-6, a matchup we look forward to. Dragons, not a good start for them. 14-point loss right against the Nomads, who we're cruising by this point of the tournament, looking really good on day one. We'll get to that in a minute. Ducks 17-0 over the Steelers. Good rebound for the Ducks. Get a win over the Steeler team that showed signs of being competitive early on throughout the year when it was the Browns, but in the end, Steelers go down one and done in the first game, 17-0. Only Us and Show Me, 18-0 there. Only Us of a win. Just tough draws there. Show Me with experienced teams and Baez and Only Us. Those are not teams you want to draw when you haven't had your squad fully together all year, especially because you've only had a select amount of guys traveling. But like I said, we give props to Skinny and Preston. They're trying to get something out there for the St. Louis community. They're trying to build a brand.
Yeah.
We support Show Me Football over here at TBT fully. Tough draws though. The experience like that's a lot of traveling national experience. This is playoffs. But I think they're going to only get better as they keep building. Time will tell. St. Louis 9-man, though, coming back in April. Looking forward to that. Our guys, Skinny and Preston, will have it. Real Deal Sports. Look forward to seeing that live again. Right at beat Bahamas Lions 14-0 for Bahamas. FOE over Birmingham Heat. This was a semi-pro matchup, technically. A lot of semi-pro background between these two teams. It was a nice competitive matchup, like you would think, too. 19-13. I don't know if this got a film, but I hope it did because it sounded like a really good one. A bracket games now on Friday. First off, SI Bulldogs 37, Dream 13. That's the start you want at Nationals. Chain Gang Blazers 20, OTF 19. What a competitive game. OTF put up a fight with Chain Gang there. That was a battle. This was the upset of the day. Elite Rebels 26, main event 21. They just do that. Elite Rebel just does that. We've seen it at different tournaments already. They almost had one on Strong Island at AC. They beat Punishers at Charm City. They've gotten the Rollers at Ocean City. We won't spoil anything yet. But a win over main event, big win for this team right out the gate. We talked about it. They got a tournament championship over Rampage in the Pennsylvania Premier Championship. Elite Rebels got to give it up for them in this win here. 26-21 on main event. The start this team needed to get something going at nationals, and what was a run that this franchise, I think, needed. We'll talk about that momentarily. Next game, category 5, 17, Dream nothing. Didn't I say Cat 5 over Dream by 2 scores or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Cat 5 came to play, man. I had a feeling they were. Drink is a tough draw, though. A lot of NFL experience. This has been a tough year for those guys, but it's a tough draw in general. 9-man A circuit is hard. Like anybody who's able to do that, I got that much respect for. But I give a lot of credit to Cat 5. They just jumped right into the pool. They didn't care how deep the water was. They didn't care if there any sharks in there or not. They just went swimming. And right out the gate, they got a win on Dream and their 9-man debut. Big props to them. Good start for this team. Lions 14, OTF 6. OTF had a really good performance. If you look at these 2 games of Blazers and Lions, they played tough. Like they hung in there, both of them. That's a positive sign for this franchise going forward, honestly. Not a good start, but at the same time, you played both tough. And honestly, that's something to look forward to. But with Lions, close game there. I look forward to seeing these 2 face off again, truthfully.
Sure.
This was one to look forward to. Punishers 12, NTV Wolfpack 6. Old school 9-man flag football between these 2. The matchup we wanted to see. And it was nothing to the hype. This was a really good matchup back and forth between these 2. Wolfpack did not have the best nationals, but this game was their highlight, playing the Punishers to a 1-score game. Great, good way to start out. I wouldn't say great way, but it's something you need to get a feel of it, what you need to do going forward. Bulldogs 24, Cat 5, 13. Category 5, little tough break here. SI Bulldogs, a bit of a jump from where Dream is level-wise right now. They played tough, though. What?
Did you say a little bit of a jump?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a lot of bit of a jump.
You're mean. Stop being mean. You're a
I'm
bully.
not being mean. I'm just being honest.
You're a bully.
Whatever.
Bully.
You can call me whatever you want.
I'll call you a bully. 11-point game here. What?
That's a good game. It's a good game
Yeah.
for them.
That's what you needed.
Good game for them.
24-13. This is a very good game. Like, you got to think, like, for Cat 5, this was experience. This was a jump in the water, see what it is.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I wasn't even trying to be mean to the Cat 5. No,
Oh, no. I mean, I'm talking about Dream. No, I thought you mean the Dreams. I'm talking about difference in levels. Like, yeah. I didn't mean.
Well,
I want to see you create a team of young guys from Boonesboro next season in a flag football league that's available nearby. Yeah, I want you to bring them on the A circuit after that. Ocean City, first tournament. Come on, do it. See, you're scared. Hashtag Ross is
I already
scared.
got enough kids, man. I don't need to take care anymore.
Yeah, you got a point there. Next game, category 5, or sorry, not category 5. Changang Blazers fall to the Lions 35-0. Not sure what went down here. I don't
What
know.
did you say?
Lions beat Blazers 35-0.
I have to change it.
I wasn't there.
Well,
Yeah, I can't vouch.
all to the line.
This was a good game though. Rollers 21, Misfits 20. I think Preston Shivers had this game. Really good matchup. Really good matchup back and forth between these 2. Rollers were able to get a score, but the Misfits got one back at the end. They try to get the score to win it, but they could not. They fall short. Rollers advancing 21-20. Nice win to start out national for them. And you got to give them for Misfits, though. They came ready to play for a Rollers team they hadn't seen before, and they matched up really well with them. And I think it bodes well for them going forward, depending on what this core is next year, or rather this year now, as everything's about to kick off. We'll see. Scorpions 14, Punisher 7. Competitive matchup, back and forth there. I didn't really catch most of it, can't commentate, but it's what you would expect from these 2 facing off. Saturday results, only us and PME. Rematch of the MAFL semifinals, repeat of last time. First note again, same as the second note reverse. I don't know what that
What?
phrase is. I had a good, there's a good catchphrase I heard earlier and I can't use it now. Let's keep going. 21-6. That was on MAFL Elite. All the MAFL games are really on that page. That's where the Power Brothers had it at. Going out to the next game. Dragons beat Rideout 20-0. That's a surprise. 20-0. Dragons on Rideout. Shoo. That was a Rideout defense that was playing good ball all year. But Tony Pena and company, you got to watch them, man. They will catch you off guard.
Yeah,
I
think it.
Oh yeah. We'll see what ends up happening from there. Steelers 12, FOE 2. Steelers bounce back in a good way by shutting down FOE's high potent offense and getting the dub there. Playing that old school Steeler flag football. Baez Auto 16, only us 6. This was actually a closer game than the final score indicates. A lot of history between some guys on these teams over the years playing circuit ball. Baez getting the win here, though, at a big stage. Just what this team needed after the TME game. Only us goes down instead. Not a good way to go on day 2. Taking losses in double digits to PME and Baez. No match 27, Rideout 13. Rideout, not a good start either, not a good ending either.
Yeah.
2 losses, double digits, minus 34 on Saturday for Rideout. Not a day to remember for that team. Luckily, it was already enough that they had all day the rest of Saturday to enjoy it any way they can and try to forget. A lot of things to do in Florida. Just relax, have fun, enjoy the sun. Like pretty warm down there, right?
Yeah. Sometimes we get a little chilly.
That's what I heard. It's like 20 degrees last weekend or something. 20 degrees what I heard for last weekend. Ducks 20, FOE nothing. Not a good ending for FOE either. Just double FOE, only us and Rideout just did not have a good Saturday morning to start out the day.
Yeah.
And they both all 3 went down in very similar ways. Show Me goes out the door as well. 19-6. PME says, you know what? I will represent MAFL. I will carry the torch. And they bought out in the best way. But you got to give it up, though, for only us, FOE and Rideout. They go down there. They work their asses off all year. They had a lot of tough draws. Rideout with Dragons and Nomads on Saturday. FOE with Ducks and Steelers. I joke and everything, but only us had Baez and PME. It's a gauntlet out there, man. This tournament is not easy for anybody to go out to. You could be done without the gate. Like we saw it happen with Dirty Birds day 1. They lost 2 games by 30. That's done by about 10:45 a.m. on Friday morning. You got to hope you win your next game by 70 in order to get back in. Yeah. Yeah. But like they had tough competition. It was a gauntlet of a tournament for those guys. We'll see what happens going forward with each of those teams. Got a lot of respect for all of them across the board. They play tough football down there on Tucker Road. PME showed out though. They got 2 double-digit wins on only us and Show Me to end their weekend. Dragons escaped the Lions 12-6. Not sure what really went down here, but Lions seemed like they stepped up at the very end against the Dragons, only to fall short. Steelers 21, Birmingham Heat 20. Steelers at the end of the day, nice little end there on Saturday by getting a win on the semi-pro Heat team. That's momentum for them at the end of the tournament. Demons 24 and Wildcats 7. Demons bouncing back in a good way. That's what they needed. We talk about it. They played the GCFFA all year. They played underman all year. Once again, they ball out in this tournament. They get a nice win here on Wildcats, get some momentum. No Excuses 14-7-1-7 Elite, nothing. Nice win for No Excuses back out the gate, getting their second circuit win against a team out there from York, PA, a 7-1-7 Elite who have a lot of fine talent. Just with No Excuses needed. Go out there early on and get wins on established teams. Beat Brick Squad out of Rhode Island. Beat a 7-1-7 Elite out of York, Pennsylvania in that YAFFL league. And this is how you get yourself rolling. Battle of Titans was a 28-28 tie. That just sounds like it fits the name of Battle of the Titans. A 4-score tie. Jesus. What a battle. I gotta go back and watch that one. I don't know who had it, but it was awesome. St. Louis Spartans 20, Blackhawks nothing. Blackhawks play tough, you know, you gotta give them credit, but like Spartans just overwhelming in the trenches for them. It is hard to get anything against that squad. After that, you had Wild Savages 7, Demons 6. Another competitive game. Wild Savages, this merger has worked out very well for these squads. Demons, little overmatched here, but tight battle to the very end. Demons always fight tough, but Savages get the dub. This is kind of a surprise result considering how all weekend went. Brick Squad 47-1-7 Elite 6. Shoo. Yeah. Not a good way to end the weekend for 7-1-7 Elite, but just what Brick Squad needed to get right back into day 3. That's a propel win. That's how you get yourself right back in. Impressive performance. That's you got to overkill at that stage until you just look at the committee and say, is this enough? Is this enough? Yeah, not a good exit for 7-1-7 Elite. Brutal description, man. We apologize, kids. Empire 14, Steel Titans 7. Very competitive game to the end between these two. Steel Titans actually had a really good performance at National, all in all, when you look at this squad. Riot Squad 33, Dirty Birds nothing. Dirty Birds, I believe, finished on -102. Something like that. Riot Squad, they went all out for this game. They knew they had a tie to make up for, and they made up for it in more than many ways. We'll see how Dirty Birds bounce back. Bad Boys 29, Wildcats nothing. Bad Boys even we're like, you know what? We got to overkill here too. 29-0, make up for the tie early to get right in. Impressive performance. That team was starting to gel right about this time. Rampage 23, No Excuses 6. No Excuses had a measuring stick game. It's all right, you've already shown you could beat the second best team in York overall in 9-man right now. You showed you could beat the second best team over there in Rhode Island right now. Can you beat a team that has been shown to be the best in Baltimore in one season? Was third, fourth best, give or take, maybe third, maybe second, depends who you ask another. And Rampage, who was number 1 in the B, but Rampage, they show the experience here. Go out there, dominate this team with No Excuses, who suddenly goes from having a big game with Brick Squad to not as big as a game, but just as pretty important against 7-1-7 Elite, to now you're playing against Rampage, who is a MAFL runner-up, an OMFFL champion, an Ocean City champion, a Charm City champion, a runner-up at York, a runner-up in that Pennsylvania Premier Tournament, a runner-up at MAFL's A division. And this kind of shows where the experience comes into play here in this big matchup. Rampage got the win here, but it also will tell what happens later on too, because there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from these kind of games. Titans 10, Pack nothing. St. Louis Pack out the door after a really hot start, but Titans with the dub there. And then this was a nice upset at the end. Blackhawks beat Riot Squad 17-14. What a swing. You know, we actually remember, we heard a lot about it. That game in Ocean City when I believe it was Riot Squad beat the Blackhawks 20-0, I believe, something like that. It's been a while since I've seen that score, but I remember they put it on them in OC, them and the X Dogs. Blackhawks make up for it. Big point differential swing. I want to say it was 23-0 in that game. I could be wrong. I can't fully remember every score. I know. I was supposed to know everything.
You should.
I know. But if you actually look at that, that's a big swing. That's a plus 23 to 26 swing there for the Blackhawks after losing the first game the way they did. Nice little way to get redemption against the team they lost to early in the year and get to day 3 in Nationals. A bracket games. Blazers 20, category 5, 14. Competitive matchup again. Cat 5 showing they could play this A bracket ball, man. They stood up to the Blazers as well. Yeah, fresh going. You get a dream team that's been around all year, playing tough, playing great competition, and all across the board. You go up against the Strong Island Bulldogs, who are an established franchise in the 9-man game. You go up against the Blazers, who have already an established franchise as well in this game. Not on the same caliber of what Strong Island has done, but they have their own kind of resume as well. They perform well, but Blazers get the win at the end of the day. They show why they do what they do, and they get the dub there. Nice little recovery after the Lions game. Good win for them. Rollers 25, Scorpions 7. We questioned this matchup. Who get the rematch from Charm City? It was the Rollers at the end of the day with the dub over the Scorpions. Main event 21, NTB Wolfpack, nothing. We wondered who would win between the A and B champions of the 2021 tournament. In the end, it was main event getting the dub. Wolfpack played tough early on. It was 6-0 close to halftime, but in the end, main event pulled away. They get the win. We'll see how NTV can recover going forward. Surprise result here: Bulldogs 41, OTF nothing. OTF, despite good performances back to back, ended on a very low note with the Bulldogs, but Strong Island just be that way this year or not, man. They just be that way. They've been different. They've been a juggernaut. They've been almost unstoppable. Misfits beat the Punishers by a score of 16, or sorry, Punishers beat the Misfits rather, 16-0. We were wondering, could the Misfits get a repeat win back at AC, or was the Punishers going to get it just like they did at GCFFA? Right. And once again, it was the Punishers with the dub on this one. They went out there, they played smart flag football, they played fundamental ball, they got pulls, they made first downs. That's all you need to do to win this game. Get enough points and play defense. Exactly. Old school 9-man.
Not be stressed enough.
Flag pulls and just smart decision making. And then it's tough for the Misfits. This is a hard loss for them when you take a look at the squad they had down there in Florida. But Punishers, at the end of the day, they always find a way. And they bought out in that day with a nice win here against a Misfits team that had a tough schedule overall that weekend. You got to give it to those guys, man. They played tough. They played a hard schedule that I don't wish on anybody. Elite Rebels 24, NTV Wolfpack 3. Rematch of last Nationals, actually. Remember, it was a game you did, Ross Collins, when the Wolfpack beat the Elite Rebels 13-10.
Yeah, that was a good game. Man.
Yeah, that was yeah, this was a much different game. This is a year later. What's changed? And we talked about the point swing in the Blackhawks Riot Squad game. This is even larger point swing. Remember, that was a 3-point win for Wolfpack first time around. This is a 21-point win plus 18 swing for the Rebels. Major swing. And crazy to think, a year ago, Wolfpack holding the trophy, whereas the Rebels didn't make day 3 of B Nationals. Look what a difference a year can make. Considering at the end, Rebels make day 3 here at A Nationals, Wolfpack 0-3. And that's the exit door. Crazy how it just changes, guys. It's never the same.
Wow.
Yeah. Lions over Dream 32-12. Not a good exit for Dream. Main event 14, Misfits 6. Played the best they could. Misfits gave it all they could, man. You gotta give it props. This was a tough weekend between Punishers, Rollers, and main event. Like I said, I don't wish that on anybody. Not many teams could play that slate and get through it the way the Misfits did. And, to go out to only an 8-point loss to main event, that's a good way to go. They showed they can compete. They showed they can hang in a 0-3 is not the result they needed or wanted, I should say.
Right.
But it could be the result they needed. Perspective, a year could change anything. Remember that. A year can change anything. Rollers 21, Rebel 6. These two always have a nice little competitive matchup, but this time around, Rollers got the best of the Elite Rebels. You got to give it up for what the Rollers did overall the weekend. Got some nice wins out there against Misfits and the Rebels, the slate of OMFFL team, Scorpions as well. 3-0 against the OMFFL was the Rollers over the weekend. Got to give them a lot of credit there, going in there and going against Baltimore's best.
Yeah.
See what this bracket looked like. All right, here's where we go. Here's what we had, starting out with the bracket down at the bottom. I'm going to go in order of games played. I don't have exact scores on me, so I apologize. I just had the bracket, and that's how it looked. I think I have a slide coming up. I better have a slide. I do not have a slide. I will guess how I remember it based on memory. All right. Maryland Titans, Brick Squad. Brick Squad got the win here, I believe, at the very end. Titans out here at this point. Titans, the other Titans, the Steel Titans versus Long Island Demons. Demons get the dub here. They advance to the Sweet 16. Riot Squad, Birmingham Heat. Riot Squad gets the win. Heat with a hot start, but not a very cold, hot finish. They're cold toward the end. Going over their next game, Nomads and Brick Squad. Brick Squad, a 17 seed, upsets the Nomads.
Jeez.
Yeah, Nomads one and done. Second time they've gone one and done after a nice run on Saturday. Happened in AC. They're one and done here to Brick Squad, who caught fire at the right time. I think something went down in the 7-1-7 elite game that woke them up. They want to run here, beating Titans, beating Nomads, taking out the 2 November champions on day 3. That's a bold statement for Brick Squad. We talked about it. They're a very underrated team that's always up there competing.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, you gotta like what that team does. St. Louis Spartans beat the Steelers. Nice little win there for the St. Louis Spartans to knock the Steelers out. Gotta give it up for the Steelers, though. They got back into the circuit toward the end of the year. They matched up very well with a lot of different teams. They showed they could play still. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do going forward. PME versus Demons. PME with the win there. They advanced to the Elite 8. Rampage over Riot Squad. That was the battle of the top 2 B teams all year. Rampage get the dub there. They settled a score between those two. I think it was a 1-score game. I think it was very competitive. I don't have it on me because I messed up this slide. This has kind of been disjointed because I've been focused on other stuff. We're not going to talk about it again. So I apologize for me just being trash lately. We gotta do better. That's our new hashtag slogan. Do better. Blackhawks, Dragons with a win there. They advance to the Elite 8. Bad Boys, Empire. Bad Boys take out Empire in the Sweet 16. We talk about it. Experience tends to step in a big way in these kind of tournaments, and Bad Boys took it to Empire, gave it to them. That connection with that offensive back there is just getting better and better. Bad Boys shine in a big way in the storm. We'll have them in a minute.
Yeah.
Ducks Baez. This was a game I looked forward to all year and was wondering if we'd get, and yes, we did. We got a Ducks Baez game. And in the end, it was the Ducks who were victorious, actually, in pretty dominant fashion. You got to give it to them. I thought we were a little more competitive, but Baez auto one and done on Sunday. No excuses over Wild Savages. So no excuses getting a second win over a Rhode Island team. They advanced to the Elite Eight. That's when we get to the 11:45 games. First one out the gate, Brick Squad versus Dragons. Dragons getting the dub there. They advance to the Final Four of the B division with a victory. Over the next game, it was the St. Louis Spartans and the Bad Boys. Bad Boys beat the Spartans. No, they did not. Spartans actually beat the Bad Boys. Swerve. Sorry. Spartans got the dub there. It was actually a competitive game. I believe it was 26-18 was the score at that one. It was a back and forth battle between those two. And the Bad Boys wanted it a year prior. They got their heart broken at Nationals, taking 2 losses to the St. Louis Spartans. Some of those guys with the Renegades. But they came out this time around ready to go. It was an epic battle from start to finish. Hoping to see more of that next year. Really love to see that game again. Next game up, we had PME, Long Island Ducks. Ducks had played A teams all year, so they were ready for what PME had to deliver. And boy, was it a competitive game going down to the wire. PME, I believe, winning 14-13. This was a great battle back and forth between those squads. So Playmakers Elite with the win there. They advanced to the semifinals, the Final Four. Rampage, no excuses. This was the upset of the weekend. No excuses beats Rampage.
Yeah.
What a win for this franchise.
Yeah.
This is what you need. We talked about it, making adjustments, seeing what Rampage had on day 2, and then adjusting to what it was come that day 3 matchup. And boy, did it pay off for this no excuses team in a big way, as they got a win on Rampage in day 2, or day 3 rather. They advanced to the semifinals. Big steps for a team that was only in their second year of traveling in the Nationals. Especially getting a win against the team at Rampage, who was the second most accomplished team coming into this tournament.
Right.
So here's what we got for the next one. 1 o'clock games, starting off with, I'm going to go with the B game. We're going to finish B and start A from there. We're trying to format a certain way. It was Dragons versus the Spartans. Spartans victorious there. Not a very competitive game. Dragons were tired by that point. Spartans got the best of them.
Yeah.
So Spartans advanced back to the championship, back-to-back years in the B chip.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, PME getting the win. They beat no excuses. They advanced to the championship game. Tough draw for no excuses. You go back-to-back with PME and Rampage. After you have a scrappy Wild Savages, Rampage the day prior, it's Nationals. And you know what? No excuses. They stepped up this year.
Yes,
They stepped up in a major way. And you got to give it to that team. They definitely showed they could play on this 9-man circuit. Advancing now. Next game up, championship, PME St. Louis Spartans, trench war. That's all I got to say. This was a trench war, a skill war. This was a legitimate football game breaking out between these two. And in the end, it was PME victorious. Your 2000 yes, sir. 2022 9-man flag football, D Division II national champion. And you got to give it up for PME. Comeback team of the year by far. A team that nobody knew where they were a year ago, or it could be 6 months ago. But here they are, D2 national champion, MAFL champion, Capital Classic champion. What more can we say about the run this team has made in only the last 3.5 months?
Right.
What a run for PME, Congratulations to them, your B champion. Let's get to A real quick. Chain Gang Blazers and Cat 5. It was Blazers winning over Cat 5, and that one to advance to the quarterfinals. Next, and the other one in the next quarterfinal, it was Lions Scorpions. Lions in the win there. They advanced to the semis. Bulldogs versus Blazers. Bulldogs in the win there. Main event Punishers. Main event with the dub as well. Rollers Rebels. Guess what? Rebels beat the Rollers again on a Sunday game.
Wow.
We wondered who would win the rubber match between these two.
Yeah.
Ocean City and Charm City. And in the end of the day, it was the Elite Rebels with the win. They got the Rollers twice this year at Nationals and OC. And you got to give it up for the Elite Rebels. Hey, give it for the Rollers as well. They played tough, but can I say something? Rollers Rebels. Is it a rivalry?
It has to be.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be. I don't know how the players feel about it, but like, when you look at how competitive those games have been and the stakes and circumstances that came with them, this to me resonates as a rivalry game that it just has to be talked about. Like, yeah, I know it's not the same region. It's like New York and DC. And that may be a bit of a difference, but at the end of the day, every game is a battle on Sunday. It's always come down to the last possession on Sunday with these two. And always in the quarterfinals.
Right.
We're going to have a chip one day between these two, I swear. And it's going to be epic.
I think so too. I think it is a rivalry.
Yeah.
You have to call it one.
Yeah, very underrated rivalry. Speaking of rivalries, main event beats the Bulldogs. Last second kick. What a battle.
Craziness.
Another chapter to the main event Strong Island rivalry, the best rivalry in 9-man flag football. Ooh, Strong Island's first circuit loss of the year and their first circuit loss since last Nationals to the Punishers. Comes to main event in the semifinals, another heartbreaking last second loss. And you got to give it up for Strong Island. Give it a main event rather, but Strong Island, man, 13-0 they were in circuit games entering this the semifinal. They had put in the work all along, but a tough break with main event there in the semis. That's what rivalry games are all about, and that's what makes this game great. Main event, your winner there. Other semifinal, it was Lions going up against the Elite Rebels. Lions with the dub there. But you got to give it up for the Elite Rebels. They got to the semifinals. That's a big deal for this team. They got further than any other team in this area did. They got to the Final Four of Nationals. They got something big going forward. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Elite Rebels do as well in 2022. Championship game, main event versus Lions. Main event, your winner, 10-7. Tyler Spencer had the call there in the 9-man flag football page. Go over and watch it. It was a great laugh.
Yeah, it was.
Big shout outs to our man Tyler. Big shout outs to main event. Mike D had the guarantee they're going to go on a run. And here we are 2 years later almost. And they have been on quite a run lately. Sheesh. You got to give it to them, man. You really do. Let's see. Let's talk about upcoming tournaments and what's happening now. So I am going to do a ranking system, but it's going to be something small and low key. And we're not going to really talk about it till a tournament happens.
Yeah.
League points will count, but only is one. If your league has a tie, it's only half a point. But I actually have decided that I won't count ties at all, so you get only a point for winning. I'm going to throw out that tie stuff this year to make it easy. The only league starting up right now is South Florida Flag Football Association of Miami. They will begin playing this weekend down in Florida.
Yeah.
Because they run from February to April because it's just a lot more cooler. It gets hot fast.
It's hot.
Yeah. So South Florida Flag Football Association will be the first 9-man league kicking off in 2022 with their stuff. And you got to give it up for South Florida Flag. No excuses at Category 5 represented in a huge way at Nationals.
Yeah.
Like you could say, yeah, Cat 5 took 3 losses, but it took 3 tough losses, twice to the Blazers, by the way, and once to the Strong Island Bulldogs, but they still played both teams tough in all 3 games. You got to give it to Cat 5. They showed they belong. They could play, give them time to grow, and they have something to display. And no excuses. When they did in that B bracket, you talk about the teams they beat. You know, you beat the second best team in Rhode Island. You beat the second best team in the New York area. You beat what it could be argued as the best team by some in Baltimore. Some say it's the Scorpions. Some say it's Rampage. They have a rivalry themselves that's really good right now, talking about that as well. Rampage and the Scorpions. We got a lot of great rivalries right now in the sport. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one to look forward to. And I don't know if it fell in the spring. You know, you talk about it, you look at it, everything going on across the 9-man landscape. League ball kicking off in February. We got tournaments coming up. Ashbury, New Jersey, I think, is talking about doing one for XFFL in Free Smoke, April 2nd and 3rd. Man, what's our plans, man? What are we doing? There's a lot of stuff that's just kind of happening, and we have no direction. Like, we're just kind of finally getting back together on this and getting something going again. It's been a minute, hasn't it? We haven't really had any focus, have we? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, Ross.
Hopefully that's part of it.
I think it's all of it. Who knows? Who cares? We'll see. We got Ocean City as well, April 23rd, 24th. We got another tournament in the Baltimore, D.C. area, May 14th and 15th, potentially happening. I think that might be a Free Smoke one. That's my guess. I don't know who's doing it. Jamie brought it up the other day, but I didn't hear anything about it. Atlantic City, June 11th and 12th. That's going to be a good one. There is another one going on at the end of June, but I have no idea who's running it or where it is. I'm hoping it's somewhere different, a little different than where everybody's used to going to. Maybe a different territory hosting. After that, you have Albany going on July 16th and 17th. I'm going to try to get up there. You know, it's going to be a big one. It'll be honorary Kevin Page, of course, at that event. After that, 2 weeks later, Atlanta. They're having a big flag football extravaganza. You excited about Atlanta, Ross?
Atlanta.
I like to see it the South grow. Could you imagine this?
Cool.
Could you imagine how much the South would enjoy 9-man as soon as they discover it? I think it would take off in a big way down there. About a week later is Charm City Classic. I think that's August 6th and 7th. That's going to be OMFFL's big tournament coming up. Clash of New York is supposed to happen sometime in September or October. They don't know yet. And then after that, you're going to also have Capital Classic happening the week prior to Thanksgiving. That's going to be a good one. Rhode Island 2 weeks prior to that as well, 6th and 7th. 5th and 6th rather for Rhode Island, 19th and 20th for Capital Classic. And then Nationals, of course, next year. We got a great year of flag football to look forward to. And I'll tell you what, Rosser, I'm just ready to kick it off. Let's go.